Today is the 23rd of December, 2 days until Christmas. Hello there. This is Wayne Goldsboro Television. I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Kim Best. Thank you so much for being with us.
I am happy you're with us. This is our final day of the year to be on live or semi-conscious anyway.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. We talked about on yesterday's show that we will not be showing live shows for the next few weeks.
That's right.
We will be on Christmas break.
Christmas break.
They will be showing some of the best of in recent past. So when you hear about events that have already happened and already taken place, that's why.
And when you hear phone numbers, don't call them. I don't think. Anyway, have you ever heard of Festivus? That's today. Festivus is
No,
today.
I have not.
Okay,
What is that?
Well, we'll get into that sometime.
Okay.
It's a festival kind of a thing.
Okay.
Human Light Celebration today. Tomorrow, of course, Christmas Eve. And tomorrow is also Eggnog Day for some reason.
Do you like eggnog?
I love eggnog.
Do you? I'm not a big fan.
But you know what I have gotten into here lately
What?
is soy milk.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I love it. It's soy milk, and it's not dairy.
Right, right.
It is healthy, as a
Yes,
matter
it
of
is.
fact. And in
I like
fact,
the almond milk.
I do too.
I like that a lot.
I like the almond milk, but I don't go for the full
Right.
100
You're
calorie
what,
stuff.
2% or something?
Well, I go for the 60 or 70%.
Okay.
60 or 70 calorie,
Right, I know what you meant.
and that's what I go for because the other's just a little too rich.
Yes, I understand.
And
And yes, we are talking about milk.
well, I started it, I guess. But
That's
that's what I'm
okay.
into. But see, I'm an old man, and you have to kind of go along with me there.
So eggnog you do love.
I like eggnog. Yes, I do.
There's a lot of people that do.
Yeah, but you're not into that.
Not at all.
Okay.
I don't know why. It's okay, but
What do you like? We talk about Christmas dinner. What do you like for Christmas dinner?
oh, Christmas dinner. Well, we can go either way. Some years we do the traditional. We, you know, we need our turkey, we need our dressing, very much like you did at Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And a lot of honey, maybe from some honey baked ham or something like that. Hint, hint, family
That's
members. But sometimes we've done something different, and we've done the typical steak and baked potato or sweet potato and salad, and
that's
then lots
good.
of desserts, because a lot of folks in our family have had the traditional meal many times through the holidays. So we
Yes.
throw in something a little bit different.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So good.
Yep.
So-
Do you have a favorite holiday dessert?
Well, believe it or not, and as much as I enjoy eating
Yes.
anything, I'm not a big dessert eater. I like just
Really? What is wrong with you?
Well, I just don't like a lot of dessert.
Just kidding.
I know. I just don't like a lot. I like
Yeah.
dessert. I love chocolate. I just don't eat a lot of it. But my favorite holiday dessert would probably be pecan pie.
Oh, everybody does love that. I remember one. I went to JoJo's a week or so ago.
Yeah.
JoJo's is a little restaurant downtown.
Yeah, on Mulberry Street.
Oh, they have a fabulous, it's like a 4-layer triple chocolate with raspberry filling. Yes, oh my.
Get outta here.
It is, you need to share it because the piece is literally this big. It is fantastic.
Whoa.
Fantastic. Oh, matter of fact, I think I want some now.
Well,
I'll see you at lunch, JoJo.
well, no, wait, don't, not just yet. Just hang on a second. Don't go anywhere yet.
She
okay?
has really good desserts.
Yes, she does. Okay, let's see. Now, the 26th is Friday. That's Boxing Day, National Candy Cane Day, National Thank You Note Day.
Oh, that's always good.
It's also National Whiners Day.
I'm not a big fan.
Oh,
Not a fan of whiners. Nah, we don't need to do that.
too bad. Oh,
We need to cross that right off the list.
I don't care for
Don't have
whining.
time for that.
Don't care. Don't have time. Who's got time for whining?
Nobody.
Nobody.
But let's talk about
Don't
maybe the
hear.
closings of the city and county offices.
Oh,
Well, let's do it anyway.
okay.
Stop your whining.
Okay. County offices will be closed tomorrow, and then tomorrow, and then tomorrow, 24th, 5th, and 6th,
As will the county
as will the city.
and the city.
And the city, okay? And the solid waste department, that would be the landfill and the convenience centers, you may take your trash on Friday, they will be open, and Saturday, they will be open.
Exactly.
And there you go. It's
So
that
city and
simple.
county offices both closed the exact same days, of course, with the exception of who you just said.
Right. With the, who did I say? Oh, solid
Solid
waste,
waste.
landfill department, and the convenience centers, of which there are 13, I believe, in Wayne County.
My goodness.
We will be back broadcasting live, by the way, on about the second week of January. So we're going to be gone for a few days, but
That's right.
we hope you'll watch the programs that the pre-recorded programs that we'll have for you here on WGTV, Wayne Goldsboro Television.
And you don't want to miss these interviews. We've got 2 coming up, and they don't want to miss it. It's time to go.
Who?
I believe we have Nicolas Cole. Fantastic.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Got Nicolas Cole? Really? We sure do. Oh boy.
When something about worms.
When
something about worms.
Worms? Wait till you see this.
We gotta go.
Well, all right. I am really happy to have our guest in the studio with us today. My good friend Nicolas Cole is with us. Nick, how you doing?
Good to be back.
Man, it's always great to have you here in the
Yes,
studio.
sir. Absolutely.
He is one of my favorite musicians, and I'm a former musician myself, and so that means a lot to me. I can relate to you in a way, except you're a lot younger than me.
Not too much.
Oh, yeah, you are. Yeah. Well, let's just in case there's someone who doesn't know what you do. Tell us about Nicolas Cole. Nick Cole, what do you do?
Well, I'm a producer, songwriter, jazz recording artist. I play piano, play drums a little bit. So in the recording process, I kind of have my hands in it all.
You do it all? I didn't realize that now.
Yes, sir. Songwriting.
Well, I know you do. You write the songs.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You write the songs and produce them, and you do the piano, the keyboard work. I know that, but I didn't realize you did the drum work as well.
Yes, sir. I do the drum programming, and I also play live drums as well.
You son of a gun! That's great.
Sir. Thank you.
Okay, now how long have you been doing? You've been doing this a while, haven't you?
I've been playing since I was 4.
4 years of age.
4 years of age, yes, sir.
Right now, you're on the, I believe, the Cutmore label.
Cutmore
Records.
Records.
Is that right?
Yes,
Cutmore Records. And that's because the man's name is Cutmore. Is that right?
Right. His last name is Cutmore.
Okay, go figure that. I thought that was a pretty catchy name, but the guy's name is Cutmore.
Yeah, his last name is Cutmore.
Okay. And for anyone who may not realize this, you actually have traveled the world.
Yeah, pretty much.
And you've done a lot of traveling. But I want to get back to your roots.
Right.
Now, you started at 4 years of age.
Yes, sir.
And how did that happen?
Well, I've always been drawn to music. My father introduced me to a lot of funk music at an early age. A lot of Earth, Wind and Fire, Toto, Tower of Power, Funkadelic. So the Ohio Players, so many great bands, and
yes.
So I always, grew up wanting to be a musician. I always knew that's what I would be doing.
Well, those groups you just named, those were very powerful groups.
Absolutely.
They had a sound.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
And they were out there, man.
They all, I mean, they made such a huge impact on, the music industry and
Yes.
the way people recorded and produced music after those groups, were out.
So you started at the age of 4. You started on piano?
Yes, sir. Started on piano.
On piano. And where did you play at such an early age?
Well, my grandfather got me a keyboard. It was about that big, and I would just bang on that keyboard with both hands until it all started to make sense.
Started to come together.
Yes, sir. Started forming chords, and the rest is just history.
Well, let's give a shout out to your granddad. What's his name?
My grandfather's name is John Bell.
What?
He's county commissioner.
Now what?
Now
wait just a minute. You mean John Bell, County Commissioner John Bell, is your granddad?
Yes, sir. That's my grandfather.
I knew that.
He's a good friend of yours.
Yes, he is a good friend of mine.
Yeah, he loves you.
Yeah, he's a great
Yes,
guy.
sir.
He is. Okay, all right. Now, you're at the age of 4 and Granddad gives you the piano and you're banging around on that piano. All of a sudden things start falling in place.
Just banging away, and things started to make sense. And he said, hey, Renita, that's my mother. He said, this boy, he might actually have a chance to really be something in music. So he got me a bigger keyboard as I got older. I would say maybe around the age of 8 or 9.
Yeah.
And I started actually forming chords at that point, and really started to know what I was doing.
Wow. I tell you, you know what? At the age of 4, I barely knew what a piano was, and I could have banged on it for years and never been able to do anything with it. But you have, obviously and apparently, a built-in talent that comes from.
Thank you.
You do.
Up
you
above,
do.
yeah. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
indeed. And you're one of the finest pianists I have ever heard. No, I'm serious. I mean that. I mean that. I listen to a lot of musicians, and you are just outstanding. You have a couple of albums out, and one of the album covers is showing behind us right now, Nicolas Cole. Endless Possibilities is one. And what's the name of
Yes,
the other
sir.
one?
A Journey of One. That's my
Journey
first
of
record.
One. That was the first one.
Yes, sir.
All right, and we'll see that album cover there in just a moment. Are both those available?
Yes, sir. Both of them are available on iTunes and my website, www.nicolascolejazz.com.
nicolascolejazz.com.
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you have any samples of music on that website?
I do. I think my
you?
first single from Endless Possibilities is up there.
Okay. All
Yes,
right.
sir.
So once you started banging and the chord progressions came together and all that, where did you go then? I mean, when you were in high school, you were pretty accomplished by then, weren't you?
Yes, sir.
And,
yes, sir.
What were you doing?
Well, a lot of my friends and various people at the church I was going to at that time, were asking me to do a CD, and at the time I was like, well, I just want to be a producer. I don't really think the artist thing is really for me.
Right.
So I really did a Journey of One for fun.
Really?
I did it for fun, and it just kind of morphed into something I couldn't quite get out of. Mm-hmm. And I basically did a Journey of One too, to kind of let people that I wanted to hire me as their producer to basically hear what I could do as a producer. And it just morphed into an artist type thing.
When did you do a Journey of One?
I did a Journey of One in 2010.
2010. That was 4 years ago.
I was a junior in high school.
Junior in high school?
Yes, sir.
See, I told you, man. I'm a lot older than you. But I was riding in the LaGrange area a few weeks back and punching around on the radio, and man, there on one of the stations on the low end FM side,
Right.
80 or 91 or 2 or 3 or somewhere like that, man. The music popped up, and I knew it was you, and there you were, man, and they were playing one of your songs off of that album.
That's a feeling I never get used to.
Yeah.
When I turn on the radio and hear one of my songs, or a song that I've produced, it's still unbelievable. I'm still like that kid in the candy store.
Oh, I understand. I understand that.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's get to within recent years. Now, you did this in 2004. 2010, 4 years ago, The Endless Possibilities, and then you've done another album since, A Journey of One. You have traveled overseas. Tell us where you've been overseas.
Well, I've been to Dubai.
Dubai?
Dubai was a great experience, one that I'll never forget.
How did you end up in Dubai?
Well, the record label that I'm on, Cutmore Records.
Don't tell me. I know what happened. You were headed to Toronto and got on the wrong ship, right?
That's pretty much what happened. Yeah. That's pretty much, ballpark figure.
Okay, tell me about Dubai. How did you get there?
Well, the record label that I'm signed to, the CEO of the record label, he brings a lot of talent over there for their international fest. Or he takes a lot of talent over there. And, they have other major acts on that festival as well. Deep Purple, I'm not sure if you're familiar with them.
Oh, yeah.
It's a big rock group. Maybe 50 years or so.
Yes.
And
Deep Purple.
Deep Purple, One Republic, The Script, Three Doors Down's a country group. So I was very blessed to be in company of such amazing acts. Mm-hmm. And he called me up one day. He said, "Nick, would you like to go to Dubai?" And I was like, yeah. It's pretty much a no-brainer.
Yeah.
So we went over there for 10 days.
Wow.
And played the International Jazz Fest to over 23,000 people.
Boy.
Massive amount. Biggest.
All at one time? They were all there at one time? 23,000
23,000 people. 23,000 people.
Now, you can't tell me you weren't just a wee bit nervous.
Of course.
I bet you.
Of course. Of course.
I bet you were.
Yes, sir. It's the biggest crowd I had ever performed in front of.
I guess.
Biggest crowd.
There's musicians that play all their lives. I mean, big known names who never play in front of an audience like that.
I mean, I had played in front of maybe 10. 10 is the biggest before that.
10,000.
But 23,000.
That's a lot of people, man.
That's the biggest crowd.
That's a stadium.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's a big crowd. Oh, well, all right. Well, how would you describe your music? How do you write? All right, let's start here. How are you inspired? What inspires you when you're writing music?
I can pretty much be inspired by anything. I can be inspired by someone's story, someone's breakup. I can be inspired to write a song off of divorce or love or a big city skyline. Mm-hmm. Just various things. The ocean.
Now, to me, when you're writing songs inspired by those topics and subjects, your music sounds melodic, it's
Right.
smooth,
Yes, sir.
it flows, it's easy, but sometimes you get some pretty heavy,
Right,
some
a
pretty
little
heavy
deep,
licks
you know,
in.
a little darker.
Yeah.
So that, you know, it stems from a lot of different things. You know, I always try to, you know, draw inspiration from anything. You know, I think everything is unique.
Yeah.
So
If something is
you know,
tapping against something, a limb tapping against the wall,
absolutely.
do you ever get a rhythm from that?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. People's footsteps. You
Yes.
know, I'll hear
yeah.
something.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So something clicks, and then
Right.
and then one thing leads to another.
You know, it's kind of like a creative mental problem. You know, in a way. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And you take something and run with it.
Just run with it, yes, sir.
That's interesting. So, so how would you describe your music?
Well, you know what? I used to try to label my music. I used to say, oh, well, this is jazz, or this is smooth, or this is edgy. But you know what? I tend to label it nowadays as just good music.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't try to put any label on it. You know,
You
there's
put a
some
label
taste-
on it, you're pigeonholing it, and then
you know.
somebody says, "Well, I don't like jazz," or "I don't like
Right,
smooth."
exactly. And they might not want to get into it.
They might not want to listen
you know,
to it.
So there's hints of gospel in there because those are my roots.
Yeah.
There's hints of R&B in there. For the new record, there's a little pop, there's a little rock. So I try to give a taste of everything, you know, because all of that is in me.
Yeah.
You know, I grew up listening to all that different music.
Your roots are in gospel. You
Absolutely.
You are strong in church.
Absolutely. To this day.
Yeah.
To this day, you know, that's where my gift comes from is God, and I give Him thanks every day for it. And I grew up playing in church, organ. The Hammond B3, so that's a big part of my musical makeup.
So your music is indescribable. We'll just say.
Oh, wow.
People just
you.
just like to listen to your music. So who are your favorite artists? From where do you get your inspiration when you're listening to somebody else? Who do you like?
James Taylor. I love James Taylor.
Really?
Yes, sir. I'm a huge James Taylor
Are you
fan.
really?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Love him. Johnny Cash, Michael Jackson, Teddy Pendergrass, Marvin Gaye.
Oh yeah.
The whole Motown.
Yeah, all the Motown
artists.
R&B.
Yeah, all of them. Yes, sir. The Beatles. Who else?
So
Def Leppard.
You don't Def Leppard. You don't limit yourself to a certain style.
Oh no! I don't just listen to rock or listen to R&B or just listen to country. I listen to it all. You know, there's inspiration from anything, and you know, all of those artists, they have music that is just magical. You know, and so I listen to it all. I love it.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Any classical at all?
A little Beethoven.
A little, okay.
A little Beethoven.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right.
Not as much as everything else, but I do listen to it.
Well, yeah.
Like I said, anything. You
Well,
know,
if you listen to Def Leppard and Johnny Cash,
right,
and the Beatles and
absolutely,
some of these others, and it's a good mix. It's a good mix.
yeah.
You have to be open.
That's right. That's why I don't label my music, because I've grown up listening to all of those artists, and you know, the Beatles aren't R&B.
That's right.
But the Def Leppard isn't gospel. So
that's right.
So that's why that's why it's hard for me to label my music. You know, it gets thrown in jazz because it's instrumental music, which I'm totally fine with that because I love jazz. You know, next to gospel, jazz is probably the next genre that I grew up listening to the most. So a
little bit of Coltrane, maybe.
A little bit of Coltrane.
Little Richard.
Yes, sir. A little bit of Oscar Peterson.
Oh yeah. Really, Oscar Peterson.
Yes, sir.
All right.
A little bit of Billy Preston.
Oh, I love Billy Preston.
Yes, sir. So, you know, there's...
Really go round in circles.
Oh, yeah, I could do this for days.
Yeah, then you put Oscar Peterson and Little Richard together, and they're just about as far apart as you can get.
Exactly.
Style-wise.
Right.
But they still have that...
It makes you move, you know.
Yeah.
It unites people,
exactly.
You know, in such a grand way. You know, music is that one of the few things that really just bring everybody together. You know, even if you don't know somebody, if you love the same music, you might catch yourself nodding and strike up a conversation that way.
All right, tell me about as a producer. Do you produce anyone besides your own
Absolutely,
material?
absolutely. I just finished producing something for gospel jazz artist Ben Tankard.
Okay.
His record will be coming out, I'm not sure the exact date, early next year sometime. Him, Marcus Anderson, who I work with regularly, he plays for Prince.
Oh, does he?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's one of Prince's saxophone players. And B.K. Jackson, who also plays with Prince. I just produced something for him.
All right.
So yeah, I've always wanted to be a producer first.
Yeah.
So you know, I work with various other people.
Have you thought about where you'd like to be 10, 15, 20 years from now?
Career-wise?
Career-wise, yeah.
Well, I would love to, you know, have some Grammys, you know, but I won't limit it to, you know, 10 or 15 years. Whenever that happens, I'll be grateful for it.
When it happens, it'll happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just down for the ride right now, and I'm just, you know, loving really working on my career. You know, but as far as where I would like to be, of course, the Grammys, you know, just seeing people, you know, united with music. You know, that's the change I want to make. I just want to see people happy. You know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'll tell you what. Well, when did you play the Paramount the last time you were over there? Well, it was a couple of years ago, I guess.
Yeah, it was a couple of years. Was it the Christmas thing I did?
Yeah,
that was a few years ago.
A couple of years ago, at least, and that was just an amazing program.
Yeah, people have been beating me up about bringing that back. So not this Christmas, of
Can't
course,
do it this year.
but I might have to bring that back next year.
That would really be something. That
Yes,
would be
sir.
a good thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But don't limit it to Christmas. I mean, you know, when you get a
Oh
chance,
yeah, absolutely.
let's do something. You
That's
know?
right, yeah.
Love to have you
Gotta
back.
do it.
And in fact, maybe the next time we have you in the studio, maybe you can bring a keyboard in and we just
Absolutely.
kinda, you know,
We just have a jam.
just
right
jam right here, man.
Here. Yes, sir. That'll
One of
work.
the guys out in maintenance blows a sax, and we'll get the
Oh,
bass man in here. And,
Yeah, we'll have a big old party.
Yeah, we'll have a party. Oh, yeah. All right, one of my favorite people is Nicolas
sir.
Cole. Nick Cole, the pianist extraordinaire, producer,
Yes, sir.
and just a nice guy. And, man, I appreciate you coming in.
Thank you. I always love talking to you. Thank you for the opportunity.
You're my good friend. I appreciate you.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. Today we're at Small Miracle, and we're on Tommy's Road, just off Berkeley Boulevard here in Goldsboro. And we're here talking with Tim Norris. Tim, how you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Always great to see you, my friend. All right, first of all, who is this gentleman right here? This is Robert, isn't it?
This is Robert Benson, yes.
Robert, appreciate you being with us. How are you?
Fine.
Very good. Very good. Now tell me about, what is Small Miracle?
A Small Miracle is a company that works with autistic children and adults and people with other special needs.
Today we're here, we're going to talk about something that is near and dear to my heart, something I really enjoy talking about, and that is, we're going to talk about vermiculture.
Oh, yes.
All right, now what does that mean? What is vermiculture?
Well, vermiculture and vermicomposting, and me as a vermicologist, is using earthworms in order to better the environment.
Earthworms.
Earthworms, yes.
Earthworms, those little wriggly things.
They're great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're great. They're fish food, some people
Yeah,
call it.
that's true, yeah.
But we're not going to be fishing today.
No, we will not, no. We're turning garbage into gold.
Turning garbage into gold. Now, how do worms do that? We'll look at a demonstration here in just a minute. But how do they do this?
Well, they do that by eating. What they do...
They eat?
They do. They actually have two main functions in nature. One is that they are decomposers, and they take other garbage and waste and eat it and turn it back into soil. But they're also, I call them nature's French fry, because everything likes to eat them. And because of that, they grow really quickly.
Everything likes to eat worms.
Just about, yes.
Okay.
They're like a little protein snack.
Okay.
Yeah.
And as a result, in turn, worms like to eat. What do they eat?
Well, they're actually a nice vocabulary word is sacophage. They eat things that were once living is now dead. So
Okay.
like buzzards and crickets and some spiders, there are animals that do that, and the earthworm is one of them. They're a very unique animal in that they have no teeth, and so things have to be very small to pass through their system. But when it does pass through the system, it comes out high in nutrients, and it comes out almost pH neutral, so you can affect the soil with it.
So they're pretty much scavengers then.
Yes, they
to
are.
some degree.
Yeah.
And they eat just about anything. And when they do pass through the worm system, it comes out high nutrient, you said.
Yes.
Now, what does that mean?
Well, it means, if you look at a plant label for fertilizer, there's three main nutrients: nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. And there's also like 13 different micronutrients that soil needs. And the earthworms help build this up. They help somehow in their system. I'm not sure how it's done.
So
they do that.
This is like a plant booster. This helps the soil. It helps plants.
It's a natural plant food and fertilizer and a soil amendment.
All right, now here at Small Miracle, there's actually, you have something set up outside the building here, is that right? And Robert did that, is that right?
Yes, we do. What we're doing was taking their shredded paper and using that to feed to the earthworms and getting castings and putting into the garden beds.
Shredded paper from the office.
Paper.
Office paper.
And
the ink doesn't. The ink is okay.
It's fine.
Okay.
It used to be with colored glossy paper that it was high in heavy metals, but now a lot of ink is made with soy-based or plant-based inks, and so there's no problem with it.
No problem with that.
And the good thing is it's shredded, so it's very small. And since the earthworms don't have teeth, they can't bite and chew stuff, and so it has to if it fit into their mouth, they'll ingest it and pass it through. And so that's one of the things. Is with earthworms is they don't have eyes, they don't have teeth, they don't have stomachs. All this stuff takes place in their skin. And so it's very important that they stay moist and cool and dark and with oxygen, because they do breathe oxygen, but they don't have lungs either.
Well, they just don't have anything, but they
have
a
great
system.
Function. Yes, they do. Yeah, they're amazing. They really are.
That is amazing.
I say wow all the time.
How long you been doing this, by the way?
Since 1996 now, almost 20 years.
Wow.
Again, yes, I say it all the time.
Wow, okay. That's a long time to be doing this.
Yeah.
All right, now, Robert, you built a, what did you build?
Well, what we built is, it's actually just a retaining wall.
Okay.
A bed out there.
All right.
The tubs we have are other places, but you can take the plastic tubs like this as well. We'll look at that in a minute, too. It's also a matter of scale. I was going to get to that, too. You can do it 100 earthworms in a banana peel or 100 pounds of earthworms and all the industrial waste you can think of.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why I said, there's enough garbage for everybody.
Yeah.
And so there's plenty of garbage out there, and if you take the stuff that you're usually throwing away, you can save money by feeding it to the earthworms and turning it back into soil. Or you can also, make money by people will pay you to take the garbage away, and people will buy earthworms, people will buy the castings, people will buy the plants you can grow from these. They're really helpful. It's part of the life cycle.
If your operation's big enough, this could actually be a very lucrative business, could it not?
Yes, it can be. If you're business minded, it's perfect to get into, because one of the big buzzwords now is sustainability.
Yes.
There's nothing more sustainable than taking your garbage and feeding it to worms and putting it into your garden and growing plants.
The paper that is shredded from the office here is taken and fed to the worms. The worms eat this paper.
They do.
And at home, we can actually take newspaper. We can take any kind of paper. We can take our food waste, except, of course, meats and milks, meats and dairy products.
Meat, dairy, and grease.
Yeah, we don't want to use that.
Yeah, no.
All right. Now, you mentioned a tub a little while ago that people could actually set up in their home, and this is actually a very clean way of doing things.
It is.
Right.
And that's another thing with the vocabularies. Aerobic means there's oxygen and things can breathe. Anaerobic means there's no oxygen, and if you've ever taken garbage and put it into a trash can with no oxygen, open it up, it stinks really bad.
Yeah.
And that's because of the anaerobic bacteria. They like it like that.
Yeah.
We don't. So if it's aerated and the worms are in there and it's breaking down, you get a nice clean smelling compost, and there's no pathology involved. So.
Wow. All right. Wow. There's that wow word again. All right. Now let's take a look at what we have here.
We're going to see, this is the shredded paper.
Right.
And this is what it looked like when we picked it up.
Okay.
We put it into the worm tub, and this is what it looked like 6 months later.
6 months, that became this.
Yes. Another thing I want to teach in the classes is that earthworms in nature, they need bedding and a food source. In nature, their bedding is the earth itself, and the ground, the leaf litter, and their food source is anything that was once living and now dead. In a home vermicomposting system, their bedding will be old newspaper or old shredded paper, and their food source is your kitchen waste.
All right, now Tim, we're looking in the tub now, and I see a lot of paper down in there. What does that represent?
This is the shredded paper from A Small Miracle. When they get rid of all their, the office paper, they shred it very finely.
All right.
Just go ahead and pull that back.
Now you put the, okay, there's the dirt.
Now grab a handful of that and pick it up, if you would. See that down below? That was paper a few months ago.
That was paper just like that, right? So, and a few months ago, and so the earthworms in this tub actually made this, and there's one right there.
Yeah, see this?
And so in a short amount of time, this will be full of worms.
Yes, and full of worms and these rich castings.
Wow.
Yeah, and then your garbage is gone.
And then
they
eat a lot.
Then put more in there. They do.
And they eat very quickly. What if you run out of food?
We have enough garbage.
Oh, okay.
There's garbage everywhere. Yeah.
Okay, so we don't have to worry about the garbage,
No,
all right?
not so much.
Not
No.
so much.
Yeah. Again,
This is a whole nother world,
Yeah.
isn't it?
It's amazing. It really is. I've been doing it, like I said, since 1996, and I see something new all the time.
All right.
Yeah.
Do children show an interest in this?
Yes, they do.
bet
Yeah,
they
they do. Yeah.
I find it interesting.
Yeah.
But now, can kids set up a little Earth world at home?
They really can. In fact, I talked to one family on an Earth Day, and they said their son had turtles, and they were always buying earthworms. And they heard me talk about this. They started their own little tub.
Yeah.
The next year, they had never bought another earthworm to feed to the turtles.
Really?
And
Turtles eat earthworms.
Turtles do too as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Again, almost everything does. And nature's French fry.
Nature's French fry. I guess we could eat worms. Well, they're high nutrition. They're high in
proteins.
In proteins, yeah. Whoa. Okay.
My first batch, I bought 200 earthworms from a regular fishing bait store. And within a week, most of them I think had crawled away because they're a lot larger than you see the worms here.
Yeah.
Because they're fed real high protein foods to get really large in order to go on a hook. Fishermen see these and think, they don't fit on a bass hook.
Right.
But that's their natural size. But they will get growth. The more you feed them, the bigger they'll get as well. So any red worms is what you want because they're called epigeic. They live in the top 6 inches of the litter layer and below rocks and logs. Yeah. Night crawlers and the deep living worms, they aren't good for this because they eat more inorganic material. The red worms like organic material, things that plant-based stuff, things that were once living and now dead. Okay. And so they'll eat your kitchen garbage and they'll live in these tubs like this. Night crawlers like to live deeper in the ground. And so they're not really good for that. But a lot of people take these and put like a little spigot on the side and tip it and get out what's called the worm tea. And once this is all mature, if we were to mix this with water, it would become like a compost tea, and it would be a liquefied nutrient, and you can water your plants with it as well. But it's real rich in nutrients, and it's real high. A lot of soils are high in sand, a lot are high in clay, and a lot are high in this humus, organic matter. Uh-huh. So those are 3 components of soil, or sand, clay, and air, and the humus.
All right.
Which is
you can accomplish many things here.
Yes.
You can teach children about worms and vermiculture and vermicomposting.
Yes.
You can get rid of your food waste.
Yes.
That way. Now, when you set this up, do you need to set it up in a dark place in your home, in a closet or somewhere like that, perhaps?
Once you're in the tub and it's covered, no, it won't matter.
Put it anywhere.
Because as dark as it is, there's no light getting in there,
Okay.
and so there won't be a problem with that.
But you say you do want to drill holes in it, in the side.
On the side, if you're going to put a lid on top of it.
If you're going to put a lid on.
Right,
Okay.
and that's a lot of times people don't want to see this. I've seen ones that were made from like coffee tables and stuff that are worm bins. It's amazing. There's a lady who wrote this book called Worms Eat My Garbage, and it talks about that, all the different ways you can do it. And it's just, as long as it's dark, cool, moist, and aerated, they'll just feed and breed like Club Med.
Club Med, worm Club Med.
Oh, I forgot to
Worm
the
Med.
show.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you see this. This is going to be amazing when we dump this out. Do you
is.
see any worms there?
I don't see anything, but
Okey-doke.
what looks like dirt. That's
Really?
not dirt, is it?
It's castings. It's a soil.
It's a soil.
Some people say that dirt's what you wash out of your clothes.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
soil's what you grow plants in.
Well, of course.
We'll say dirt.
Okay.
So, but
All right,
this
here
is
we go.
This
We're
is a
gonna
nice rich
take a look at
soil.
this right here.
These are the earthworm castings.
Look down. There we go.
And these are the earthworms
All right, here we go.
living inside
Oh,
there.
my goodness. Look at that. Look, can you see that?
I'll pick up one, what you see one.
And as you can see, they're a lot smaller than bait worms would be, but they're just, look at that one. Can you see these on my,
Oh,
on my
that's a
hand
little
there?
tiny.
Mm-hmm.
Can we get close on that? Yeah, there you go.
And what I'm going to try to find now is one that's mature, because
Are these worms happy?
they eat a lot.
Okay, so they're very happy.
I think they're
then.
healthy
I
and
would
happy,
think-
yes.
I would
Yeah,
say
they seem to be.
They look like they're happy. There's one smiling.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So a lot of, I have to tell kids too, they don't make good pets.
Can't put a leash
no,
on them.
No, and they won't play fetch with the ball.
No, they won't.
And they don't come when you call.
All
so,
right,
yeah.
all right. Here we're. All right.
I do have hand sanitizer if we need some later.
No, I'm
so-
fine. I'm
okay.
fine. Well, are these dirty worms?
No, they're not, but we are kind of dressed up today. So,
Well,
yeah.
All right.
But this right here, let's put some more in your hand.
Yeah.
It's worm poop.
No.
Yes, that's what it is.
This is poop?
Yes, yeah.
This is poop?
It is. We call it super poop
Super poop.
because it is so rich in nutrients and so water soluble and so great for the plants. Yeah,
Okay.
But I love telling kids that after they're up to their elbows in the dirt.
Yeah.
They say, that's worm poop. And
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so.
Tim, if somebody wanted to contact you, they could contact you by email, I guess.
Yes, they could.
All right, what's your email address?
It's vermecologist@gmail.com.
Vermecologist at gmail.com.
Yes, that's VERMECOLOGIST.
That's it. All right.
Vermecologist. Yeah.
VERME.
Vermi is the Latin for worm, and ecologist is someone who works with the ecology and making the environment better.
VERME. Okay, I got it. Ecologist.
So vermecologist@gmail.com.
At gmail.com. All right, Tim, thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
All right. And we are back on Wayne Goldsboro Television, the final segment of the year, and it's been wonderful.
It absolutely has been a fantastic and tremendous year.
Now, when you make New Year's resolutions, do you make
Yes.
New Year's resolutions?
I do.
Do you really?
I do.
What do you resolve?
What do I resolve? Well,
Well,
last
it's
year.
none of my business, but
No,
I'm
it's,
just
it's
curious.
fine.
Oh, okay.
Last year, my resolution was, well, I had two.
Two.
Two that I was going to stick with.
Can you do
One,
that?
I did them both. Yeah,
Okay.
you can do as many as you so
Oh,
choose.
okay.
I wanted to lose a few pounds.
Yes,
And I did.
you did. You look great.
Thank you. And then the other one was I wanted to have a year of focus on true happiness.
Oh, boy, that's deep.
That was deep, I know. And I have done that, and it has been a fantastic year for me
Good
and my
for
family.
you. Good for you.
Yeah, so they were my two, but every year I try to at least have one that is an attainable goal.
Well, you certainly hit them. You hit both of them.
Don't always, but I did.
Well,
I did reach them both this year.
And I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
That's
How about
cool.
yourself?
Huh?
Do you do you pick any resolutions and try to stick with them, or is that just something you really don't believe in or do?
Well, you know, some days.
Some days you do, some days you don't.
Well, depends, you know.
Too funny.
Okay, and on that note, I don't know, how much time do we have?
Just another minute or two.
Okay, okay. All right. In that case, we're going to go ahead and scoot on out of here.
Yes, we are.
All right. We hope you enjoyed the program this year. We'll be back with new stuff next year.
And thank you so much for being with us this year. We hope that you have been made aware of activities and things happening in your community by watching WGTV. Remember, they're always on YouTube. Both the city and the county's website has YouTube links, and it takes you to all the past shows from the past year and actually year before that.
That's exactly right. So everything we've ever done is on YouTube. So if you want to link that, go to waynegov.com or
GoldsboroNC.gov.
there you go. Until next year, have
That's
a
right.
great, safe holiday period, and we'll see you again next year. And until then, on Wayne Goldsboro Television, I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Kim Best. Merry, Merry Christmas.